Hello everybody and welcome back to a new YouTube video. Today we are going to be doing a tier list on something that I have recently gotten into and I am now a fan of. That is called Stranger Things. You might be thinking, only now you've gotten into Stranger Things? There's 4 seasons over a lot of years. Yeah, and I basically binge watched the entire thing in a week. This was a very beefy series and I now have my own opinions on this show. Opinions that I think I should rate the characters. Now, even though I wanted to, um, I'm not going to be really ranking any of the singular monsters from each season. I think the Mind Flayer and Vecna are the only monsters on here. If I was to rank which monsters were my favorite would be just the Demogorgon, and then anything after that they're all pretty much the same for me. I think Vecna is slightly above the Demodog and the Mind Flayer, but except for that, the Demogorgon is my favorite, and it contributed a lot into season 4, and why I liked season 4 toward the end because the Demogorgon was awesome. Anyway, so we're gonna start the tier list, and we're gonna share some of my good opinions that people might agree with, people that might not agree with, but that's internet, isn't it? Anyway, it's fitting that we start off with probably the series' main character, which is 11. 11 is a very good character. I would say you really grow on 11 as time goes by. I went from I didn't mind 11. She was a decent character to fit the protagonist in the first season. And then I really started to like her more and more as time went on. There is a lot of moments of her that I would say were not my favorite. Some of the decisions and her whole storyline with those weird Lost Sister episode, which, don't worry, those characters on this list. We'll talk about that episode. I did not like that episode. There were moments of 11 I wasn't as a big fan of. But overall, I did enjoy 11. And I'm going to put 11 in an S tier. 11 is a very good character. But a God tier is going to be like my favorites. And I think there's only going to be like 3 people in God tier. Like, at least I can think of them. The next person is Mike. I really liked Mike. I think his and Elle's relationship was very well done, and it actually felt like realistic especially for Mike. And I really grew to like Mike. Yeah, he had nothing to do in season 2 and had slightly more to do in season 4, but he had stuff to do in season 1 and 3, and the times he was on screen, he was enjoyable to watch. I can't really say I didn't enjoy watching Mike on screen. Mike was pretty decent. So, I actually like Mike more than 11. So that means I'm going to rate him an S tier, not in God tier though, because as I said, yeah, I like Mike, but I wouldn't say I like him enough for him to be in God tier. Next is Lucas. Lucas, I was always flip-floppy about. In season 1, I liked him, and then there were certain moments I did not like him. And that really just kept going for each season. I feel like season 4 was the season I liked him the most overall because he had a cool character arc. But I don't know, I was always flip-floppy on Lucas. Couldn't really get a certain feeling of how I felt about Lucas. But I would say if I had to give a definite feeling in how I like Lucas, I'd say he's a pretty B tier, A tier character. That's probably going to disturb some people. I'm going to put him on B tier, like a mid-even character. I don't know. As part of the kids, I feel like he didn't have as much to do. And I don't know, he was a cool character, but I prefer some others. Next, Dustin. Now, Dustin is, and I'm just going to put him in God tier and get it over with because I love Dustin. He is hilarious. Him and his comedic duo with Steve, which I'll get to, is the best. And Dustin is hilarious. He's a really good character, and he's the smartest of the group and always has the best plot lines going around him. Now, you could say there's an exception to that rule of the Russian storyline, but even during the Russian storyline, I enjoyed every moment of Dustin. I wouldn't say there's a moment I can really think of that I really did not enjoy seeing Dustin on screen. Same with his motherly counterpart, as most would say, Steve. But I really enjoyed Dustin, and I think he deserves the God tier slot that I'm going to be giving him. Next is Will. Now, Will is good, but also bad. He doesn't get much screen time in 3 and 4. And the screen time he did have, he was decently interesting. But I feel like he's kind of wasted. He doesn't have much to do. His storyline about being secretly gay isn't really going anywhere. I feel like they tried hinting at it more in season 4. And call me wrong if you want to call me wrong, but that's how I see it. But I don't know. I just feel like it could have been more well done. Like another character who's their subplot about being gay is very well done. And I feel like Will's is just not as good. I feel like it could have been done way better. So I'm gonna put Will above Lucas in A tier, but not in S tier. Just because of the reasons that he doesn't really just show much in season 3 and 4. And he could have been better. But I think the reason he gets A tier is because I do like the actor, Noah Schnapp, or however you say his last name a lot. I think he's a pretty cool guy. So I think that makes his character better for me, knowing how cool of an actor he is. But that's besides the point. Nancy Wheeler. I don't know how I feel about Nancy. I don't know. I feel like I would say I'm not the biggest Nancy fan, but then again, she is one of the main characters. I don't know. I've never been the biggest Nancy fan, and I don't know. I always feel like I'm wrong for saying that because I feel like Nancy is a good character, but I don't know. I mean, Nancy did have one of the best moments of Dustin, where in season 1 she was rude to him at first, and then in season 3 and at the end of season 2, she danced with him and said that she was the favorite of all Mike's friends, which was a really cool character moment. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I feel there could have been more done of her. So I'm gonna put her at B tier of Lucas because I don't know how I really feel about her. I would not say she's C, D, or F, but I would say she's B tier because I really don't know where really to put her if I'm being quite honest. Next is Jonathan. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I really did not like Jonathan in season 1. I don't know why. Just something about Jonathan always rubbed me the wrong way. And season 2 really didn't change it that much for me. He was slightly better in season 2, but I don't know. I feel like Jonathan really didn't become a character I started liking until season 3. Season 3, I actually did like Jonathan a lot. I feel like that's why when I started to really like Jonathan. But until then, I was never the biggest Jonathan fan. And I don't know. Season 1, he was very creepy, and his story about being the underdog, I feel like wasn't that well done compared to other stories where their characters are the underdog. But I don't know. Since he was good in season 3 and 4, I even though he barely had anything to do in season 4, I did like him in season 3 and 4. And I feel like that's the reason why he's up there for me. And honestly, I'm gonna put him in A tier. Oh, that's not him. You know what? Let's move him. We'll rate him later. We're gonna rate Jonathan A tier because he was decent. Now, here is my favorite character. Dustin is probably tied. Dustin is tied with him. But Steve Harrington is the best character. His character arc throughout every season is beautiful. He is the best mother I've ever seen. He is a better mother than any other mother in the series. Yes, Joyce, you're not as good as Steve. Steve is the ultimate mom. But besides joking around, Steve is a really good character. And even in season 1, I didn't really hate Steve at all. I feel like I've heard a lot of people hated Steve after season 1. I never really saw it that way. I saw that he made some mistakes and that he attuned from his mistakes toward the end. But even before he made the mistake with being mean to Jonathan and all, he still wasn't that bad of a guy. He would always make sure Nancy was okay. If his friends were being rude to Nancy or his friends, he would tell them to back off. And the only reason he let his friends in season 1 write what they wrote on that theater was because he was in a very emotional moment and not really paying attention to what was around him. And then after season 1, he just kept getting better. His relationship with Dustin is just the best in the series. The best relationship, and it's between a mother and a son. Just kidding. But there is a reason why a lot of people put him as a mom, because he's a very good character and like a fatherly figure. A fatherly figure that he never really had in his life, because he didn't like his dad. But we never saw his dad, so yeah. Anyway, next is Joyce Byers. So we got a lot of characters to go, so I'm gonna start picking it up a little bit. Joyce Byers was a decent character. I liked her in season 1, and I did start liking her more as the season went on. Joyce wasn't that bad of a character, and I would say she'd get an A tier, an S tier. No, I'll give her an S tier because I really did like Joyce. Hopper. I like Hopper in season 1, 2, and 4, not season 3. Season 3, Hopper felt very out of character, and he had 2 modes to him, and that was asshole and superhero. Like, he was either the hero or he was an asshole. And you could say, yeah, that was his character for the other season too, but no, it not really wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't always the nicest guy. Some people, but he wasn't as much of an asshole as he is in season 3. But except for that, I think he was a really good character. I would still put him in S tier. Because he wasn't good in one season doesn't negate the fact that he was good in 3 other seasons. In season 4, I liked him. Sorry, I was taking a sip of water. Next is Martin Brenner. I refuse to call him Papa because I do not like it when they call him Papa. I do not like Martin Brenner. I think he's a very weird character, and his redemption in season 4 never felt like a redemption to me. So I'm gonna put him in D tier. I'm not. You know what? No, I'm gonna put him in F tier. I really did not enjoy seeing this guy. He was never a character I enjoyed watching. Yeah, you're probably supposed to feel that way, but I don't know. I just never felt that he was either a good villain, nor was he a character I rooted for. Anyway, so that's just my opinion. Shoot me if you don't agree. Next is Max. I like Max. most of the time, I'll put her in A tier. Above Lucas, there's not really much else. Billy is a psychotic asshole, and his heel turn was decent, to the point where I'll give him a D tier. Because he did have a decent story in season 3, so that's why he's getting a D tier, not an F. Next is Robin, another one of my favorites. I'm putting Robin in God tier because I think Robin is a great character. Her subplot about being gay in season 3 is such a good plot. I never hated seeing Robin on screen. Every time we saw Robin, I enjoyed seeing her on screen. And I'm so happy that I didn't get her gay subplot spoiled for me, because that was a very big moment that I thought was really cool. And I really enjoyed seeing that on the screen. If that got spoiled for me, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. And seeing it just put her in God tier for me. And anytime she is in season 4, she's also extremely good. Erica, I'll put her in C tier. She's not really. No, not S tier. Imagine she goes in God tier. Erica, only God tier character. I was never really the biggest fan of Erica, but I also didn't hate her. She gets like a C tier. I did not like Karen, like almost at all. But she is a decent mom, so she gets D tier because she's not the worst of the worst. But I was never the biggest fan of Karen. Just something about her, and also the fact that she was so insistent on cheating on her husband with Billy was just. I know she didn't end up doing it, but like, she was almost dead set on doing it, and that was insane. I don't know. Next we got. Oh, that's Bob. I loved Bob. His death was sad. I knew it was. I figured he was gonna die, because I don't know. He just didn't seem like a main character that would survive. But I loved seeing Bob on screen. He was such a good character. Every time he was on screen, I enjoyed it, and I think he deserves an S tier. Honestly, the time we spent with Bob was amazing. He was never a bad character, and also his being a nerd coming out, like him being a nerd saving the group was cool. Like him with technology and stuff, that was pretty cool. Eddie was a really good character. Eddie almost went into God for me, but was just a little bit held back to the point where I gotta put him in S tier. Billy was a very good character though. I enjoyed seeing Billy a lot. I liked his character arc of running away, being a coward, to then being a hero toward the end. That was a really cool character arc. And yes, he really didn't need to stay there and fight. I mean, it helped the group in the end, so technically he did. But honestly, his subplot was a very good one, and he deserves a S tier. Wait, what's like? Oh, Barbara. We barely saw Barbara. The memes about her, no one mourning her death, was hilarious. We didn't see that much of Barbara, so I really can't put her anywhere else besides like a C tier. But she was not a bad character. The time she was around, she was a nice girl. But except for that, we really didn't see her much. I thought her death was pretty cool. Her being pulled down and then discovering later that she died from that. That was pretty cool. Mostly that probably contributes more into the fact that she gets killed by the Demogorgon. And the Demogorgon is really cool. But anyway. Murray was actually kind of funny. Every time Murray was on screen, he would make me laugh. So I'm going to give Murray an A tier. As I said, I'm trying to speed this up a little bit because we got a lot of characters to go. Argyle. Hey, dude, I got the pizza, dude. It's racking, dude. I don't. He was very funny, but he wasn't really a character. So I'm gonna give him a B tier. Scott, after season 3 is the last season he was in. He wasn't in season 4. It's kind of funny, but he was never really around that much to be a character. But for the time he was around, he was a nice guy. So I'll give him next to Barbara. Wasn't around that much, but the time he was in, he was a pretty good character. I forget this guy's name. What is his name saying there? I can't read it. It was a traitor guy in season 4 for like the guy who betrayed the Russians and joined up with Hopper and got out. He wasn't that bad. I'll give him a B tier. The girl from the Lost Sisters episode. D tier, because no, F tier. I didn't like her at all. The dad, the dad is 1 tier above Karen, barely, but he is funny. He's funny. We support the American. We are patriots here. I think a lot of his moments are funny, so I'll give him that. Their daughter, didn't see much of her, so put her in C tier. That guy, C tier. Owens, I would put him in B tier. He was a decent guy. I liked him. He wasn't my favorite, but he was decent. The other police officer, D tier, didn't like him. Yuri, didn't like him. I'll put him in D tier. I gotta move my computer to see some of these. Becky? Who are you? Oh, you're that one girl in the place with the mom or whatever. I don't know. C tier. Yes. And the Terry the mom wasn't a character. I don't know. Larry, F. Chrissy, do I even need to say why I didn't like Terry? I mean not Terry, I didn't like Larry. He was a corrupt mayor. Chrissy, she was a pretty kind girl, so she'll get that. I gotta zoom in, I'm sorry. I can't see some of these. James Dante? Who the heck are you? Who are you? I don't remember you. F? D tier? I don't care. I don't remember you. Fred, didn't really like Fred the time he was around. Jesus, some of these are so hard to see. Patrick from season 4. I'll give him C tier. Some of these characters weren't around long enough for me to even care. Some of them I don't even remember them. Jason, he was actually a decent villain. I'll give him a B tier. He was an asshole, but he was a decent villain. The one army guy, Jack. I don't even know who he is. D tier. Tommy Hankin. Who was you? D tier. I don't remember any of these. Heather wasn't a character, barely around. I don't even remember anything. Alexi was actually pretty funny. I liked Alexi. I'll give Alexi A tier. Right next to his buddy Murray. Carol? Who are you? I swear I don't remember any of some of these characters. See, sure. One of the guys developing this. I'm gonna give everyone who's in charge of that news thing an F tier because I really did not like them. Susie was pretty cool. I like Susie. I think she deserves more screen time. The guy from the prison. I don't know. We don't know him. They just visited him to figure out some stuff about the plot. He wasn't a character. Turn off my light so it's easier for me to see, I guess. Troy. Literally, I don't remember any. F. Grigori, the Russian Terminator guy. F. I did not like him. It wasn't a character. None of these guys were barely ever characters. Oh, Angela. Oh my gosh, terrible. Just bitch. almost ruined the first part of season 4 for me. Vinny, I actually, or however you say, no, Lonnie, sorry. He wasn't that bad. For the time he was around, he wasn't that bad. But I feel like he could have been more of an asshole. So that way you hated him more. Honestly, at first I thought he actually came back to actually try to help, and that him and Joyce were going to get back together. But then that moment where Joyce kicks him out was actually a decent moment. The nerd guy Keith, he wasn't a character. I didn't even know his name was Keith. Weird. I don't know. Connie Fraser from season 1. Barely around F tier. The mom of Dustin. Barely around D tier. Benny, he was around for a little bit in season 1. C tier, he was actually a good guy. I did like him when he was around. Oh, any person from the Lost Sister episode is getting an F tier. They all were so bad. Miss Kelly wasn't really a character. D tier is just going to be filled with characters I don't remember or weren't really characters. Doris? Who were you? Oh, you were that one girl. Season 3. Yeah, D tier. Like, she wasn't a character, basically. 2, honestly, I know she was part of season 4. But he was an ass. For no reason. To 11. Plus, I don't really remember him. I don't know. D tier. The dad of Eddie wasn't really a character, but D tier fits decent. Forrest, I don't remember you at all either. Agent Wallace, the guy who got tortured. Agent Harriman. I didn't even know these guys were named. Neil Hargrave. Don't remember you either. Vecna. I'll give Vecna. It was a pretty good film. I'll give Vecna B tier. They're a pretty good film. And the Mind Flayer is basically Vecna, just in a different form. And I guess I'll give Mind Flayer C. If the Demogorgon was on here, it would get an S tier or God tier just for being the best film monster. Or antagonist for the villains to fight. Anyway, that was my Stranger Things tier list. Was it good? I didn't remember most of them. Apparently, or I just didn't care. So that's my ranking. I hope you liked it. Most of the people in F tier were people from the Lost Sisters episode because that episode was terrible. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed watching this. One last look at my tiered list. And, I'll zoom out so you guys look at it real quick. There you go. Robin, Dustin, and Steve were my top tier characters. They were my favorites. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.